Good evening and welcome. Tonight we will be going over the history and geography of Brava in Cabo Verde, or in English, Cape Verde. Now, whenever I'm I have a terrible map, so we're only doing the tablet. This is one of those instances. But I have a lot of dates and things that I have to say in the history that I know I'm going to forget if we're on the tablet with the lights off. So we're going to use the terrible map for a minute. But yeah, whenever I'm like, the map is horrible, we're just doing a tablet, this is what I'm talking about. This is the island right here. It is the smallest inhabited island in Cape Verde and also the southernmost island. Little Brava. Now, if you saw most recently, I covered Boa Vista over here, which shout out to my viewer Justin, who saw that video, booked a trip, and went there very recently. I hope you enjoyed your trip, Justin. I'll link the video up there if you want to check it out. It's a beautiful, beautiful island. But if you have seen that video, you might be wondering, is the landscape on Boa Vista similar on Brava? Because here the island is very desert-like. We are in the Atlantic Ocean off the coast of Western Africa, kind of near Senegal, and not too far off from the Sahara Desert. And the Sahara Desert winds and sand blow toward the islands and make them very rocky and covered in sand. Well, Brava is considered the greenest island in Cape Verde and is nicknamed the Island of Flowers. And that will be funny once you look at Google Earth because it is pretty rocky and desolate. There are green patches, but it's not like lush, beautiful green rolling hills all over. It's still very rocky and dry, but it is the greenest island. Brava also contains some other smaller islands. If you see these tiny dots up here, there are a couple of islands up here, and I hope I'm going to say them right in Portuguese. It's Ilha de Cima, and there's Ilha Grande, along with a few other very tiny ones, but they are uninhabited. They are literally just rocks. Now, the islands of Cabo Verde are volcanic. And you can see nearby is Fogo, where we can find Pico de Fogo, which, if I'm not mistaken, I think that's the highest point in Cape Verde, I think. But this huge volcano here actually extends over to here. There is another volcano here on Brava, which we'll look at on Google Earth, but this is all one big mountaintop, basically. Bits of ocean in between. Now, the islands of Cape Verde have been uninhabited for a very, very, very long time. They were first discovered by the Portuguese. I saw two different dates for Brava being discovered. I've read 1462 and 1464. So sometime in the early 1460s, a Portuguese sailor named Diogo Afonso sailed by and found the island. But no permanent settlers lived here until the year 1620, when many settlers from Madeira and the Azores Islands moved here, other Portuguese islands. In 1680, Mount Fogo, Pico de Fogo, erupted and devastated the island. There were many hundreds, if not thousands, of people living on this island at the time. So a lot of them relocated to nearby Brava for safety, or, if it destroyed their homes, they had a place nearby to settle, and that really boosted the population. Probably the most populated the island has ever been in its history. The town in the center, I think it's showing the volcano there on this little map, but there is a town in the middle of the island called Nova Sintra. And that town was established in the year 1700 after various pirate attacks were bombarding the little fishing villages along the coast there. Nova Sintra is the capital of the island. Or I guess like the center, I suppose. Throughout the 18th century, many whalers, particularly from the United States, would stop over here on Brava, particularly in the town of Geographica. I'm really trying with my Portuguese. It's something I really want to get better at, is pronouncing Portuguese things. I'm trying my best. My Portuguese viewers have been very kind, telling me how good my pronunciation is. I think it's still terrible, but thank you very much. But yeah, they would stop over at the fishing town here and restock supplies and rest before sailing back out. And that's what the island was most known for quite a while. And that's pretty much all the history that I found about this island. It is very tiny, very rocky, with some neat things about it. Why don't I show them to you? Let's go head over to the tablet now, because I've told you all the things that I knew I wouldn't remember. And let's go look at this island on Google Earth. Alright, here we are on Brava, Cape Verde. And let's of course start by zooming out so you can see exactly where we are in the world. Here are the islands of Cape Verde, Cabo Verde. And here we can see where they're located. So here's the Atlantic Ocean. You can see the coast of West Africa here. You can see the Sahara Desert. And if you even zoom in close, you can see where the winds have blown the sand across the desert here and blowing toward the islands here. Isn't that neat? That's why they're all dry and deserty and rocky. But let's look at little tiny Brava down here. Do you see the difference in size between Fogo there, the capital island there? There's little Brava. So I guess I'll show you the little uninhabited islands first, because they're just rocks. They are rocks in the ocean. There's nothing to show you. They are just very large, rocky places. So there's that, if you're curious. There's nothing there, probably just birds and sea creatures around. So here's Brava. Let's start over in Nova Sintra. Now the slideshows here are not that great, and there's not a lot of people here. There's not a lot of things to see. But we can see this park here is for Eugenio Tavares, which I'm not sure how to pronounce that in Portuguese. But he was a poet that came from this town, the Great Mustache. And so this park is for him. Isn't that beautiful from above? That is stunning. My goodness, all the little details that you can only notice from above. Very beautiful park. Look at it from here. It's very well planned, isn't it? So yeah, other than that, I'm just going to show you like the main slideshows of each town. Let me get this gone so I can pull this up. Nova Sintra, of course, named after Sintra in Portugal, the like summer retreat city there. And it's just a little quaint, nice town. There's the shoreline, little roads there, the hills in the background. There's some interesting dragon trees on this island. Surfing. I will show you probably the more famous dragon tree in this one tiny town. Over here. There it is, tagged and everything. Now dragon trees have this very distinct shape. Here we go. Kind of reaching up with these twisty branches, and then have all this spiked greenery on the top. Almost like a baobab tree in a way, but this much smaller. The most famous dragon blood trees are on the island of Socotra in Yemen. They're their own very distinct dragon trees. They're very, thumbs up, they're very, very distinct realize there were different types of dragon trees before researching this. There's a beautiful hiking trail from Nova Sintra over here. Let's see. That is very beautiful. So yeah, this is the greenest island in Cape Verde. And as you can see, it's not like, sure it's green, right? There's green to it, but you wouldn't really, it's not like Ireland, right? It's not bursting with bright green. It's still very rocky. Still very dry, but the greenest. Cape Verde. Look at that cliff there. Going down to the sea. Here is Faja de Agua. Go back. Now there's like nothing in these towns really. There's not much to see in these little villages, like homes there. It's pretty much it, right? This isn't really like one of the big tourist islands. There's not any, well, there's hotels and things, of course, but nothing like resorts with all kinds of like packages and tours and things like that. I think you're just kind of on your own when you come to this island if you want to explore it. I'm sure the locals will be happy to help. There is some neat little thing down here, which is this natural pool. Oops. It's pretty much everything I read about this part of the island. All it says is there's a pool you can swim in. A completely natural little swimming area. Big waves crashing on the rocks there. So yeah, there's a little spot where you can dip in the ocean. It's pretty nice. I think I would like to do that. I love swimming. I love swimming in the ocean. It's so nice and relaxing. I just got back from California, where I got to see the ocean again. I cried a little bit. It's so pretty. There's of course a cemetery. That's all Google Earth wants to show me are cemeteries. But you can see all the other little towns on the cliffs here. Nothing too great. Pretty much little one-road towns there on the hillside. Nice quiet life, I imagine. You can see all the green over here, but I think that was just the satellite took the picture on a good day. You can see the line there. So yeah, I guess that's a good way to show this is what it means by the greenest island, right? There's a viewpoint up here near Douro. Let's see how it looks. There's this little town of Lem there. The ocean in the background. There we go. Let's look at the volcano. Here we go. The nice peak there. Look, you can see a crater right there. Look at this little settlement here, up high in the mountains. That would be such an interesting place to live. Of course, there's no pictures here. Let's see. Just this beautiful sunset by the looks of it. Here's a viewpoint with no pictures. That's too bad. Maybe someone can come and take some pictures there, upload them to Google. But yeah, here's the mountain. There's the top. Is there no... I wonder if maybe a street view. Oh, look at that. Let's hope this works. This is a 50-50 either great shot or not. This looks like a great shot. Here we are on top of the highest peak on the mountain. A little weather station up there. You can see the ocean out there stretching out as far as the eye can see. A big beautiful Atlantic. How fun. There's the person's... Oh, they got their drone out. Perfect. Thank you, person, for this great shot. Let's see, anything else we can find? Let me turn off the street view. Gotcha. Oh, what's that? What is this? I bet you it has no pictures, whatever it is. Oh, it does. just the kind of place this is. Nothing too extraordinary, nothing too like wow. But to be honest, I think this whole island is a big wow. Isn't this beautiful in the 3D? Look at the little village right here. Forna. Let's see. Oh, we've got lots of pictures here in this town. Look at the waves crashing there against the rocks. Big windmill up there, generating some green energy for the island. Big old sailing ship there. Little tugboats. Look at that scene. Oh my gosh. That is so beautiful. They got bananas. Bananas for days. There goes the sailboat. Little church right there. There you go. That's a really pretty church too. Big port there, and well, that's a really big boat. Would be a yacht. Well, they're playing on the sand there. The very rocky beach. Makes sense to have a rocky beach at a rocky island. But yeah, that's pretty much it. Yep, we've made it all the way back around. So why don't I... Actually, did we look at this town? I think so. Yes, I remember. Oh no, we looked at this town. This is like one of the other like major towns on the island. I should probably show you. It's a very green day here. Clouds overhead. It's very green here. Look at that. Much more like a green island, right? That looks a lot better. A lot more lush. Let's see, I suppose I'll end it by... Let's see if I can pull up a slideshow for just the island. I bet if I go like this. Brava. There we go. Probably lots of pictures we've already seen, but that's okay. But thank you so much for watching. If you enjoyed this style of content, please consider subscribing. We're staying in Africa, but we're actually going to a capital city in Africa. Can you guess which capital city it is? Let me know down in the comments. Oh, they're splashing in the swimming pool there. Little natural swimming area. That looks like so much fun. If you're still awake, please be sure to give this video a thumbs up. Let me know your thoughts down below in the comments. I'd love to hear them. I hope that you found this video to be relaxing and educational. And I hope that you have a good